Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and my voice still isn't at 100%, so sorry about that, but it should be close. So hopefully this turns out alright. But today I'm going to be ranking all of the decks in the TCG, or most of the decks in the TCG, based on how fun they are to play. I honestly don't remember if I've done this before. I might have, but now there are certainly some new decks in the game, and I just want to take a look at it because it's a game. It's about fun. If a deck ends up in, this is using Trainer Hill's analysis, so unfortunately, the tiers are set. It's S through D. But yeah, D doesn't mean it's like not fun. It just means it's less fun. Because I mean, Pokemon is a fun game, so I really enjoy playing all these decks. I don't enjoy playing all these decks, but I'm not gonna rate it on. I'm not gonna try to do it too much on how much I like the decks, but how much fun they are to play in general. And this is not how fun they are to play against that. Spoilers will be a later video. I plan on doing that. So, first of all, starting off with Lost Zone box. This deck's actually pretty fun to play. I mean, winning's always fun, right? So, this is a pretty fun deck. It can kind of miss, and some of the matchups aren't super fun, but I'll put it in A tier. You have a lot of options, and you pretty much just beat everything, so it's pretty good. Against certain high HP Pokemon, it's not as fun though. Gym Pump Excalibur is another really fun deck. I actually think it's one of the most fun decks, but I also think it's very good, and other people don't think it's as good. But Chimpeo Excalibur is another strong deck. This one with potential to have one shot. I'm tempted to put an S. Actually, yeah, I'll put an S. One shotting Pokemon is always fun, and you do have versatility in the form of notably Radiant Greninja, and you also have. I mean, you have a few more things you can do. I don't know what else exactly you do, but you have some options, and you also have you have various engine options, all of which I think are decently fun. It's not like crazy, but I think the deck's pretty cool. I mean, one-shotting is always cool, and it's I think the main one-shotting deck in the game. The other one's Gardevoir. I don't like Gardevoir, so those of you who know me, I don't really like Gardevoir. I know some people like it. It's a comeback deck. Comebacks are always fun. Unfortunately, ours just get like rolled over in like the early game. Not that you like lose from that, but it's not fun just having all your Pokemon knocked out. I just want to take big one shots. So let's see, what are the other decks here? I'm gonna put it in C though. I just think it's not that fun. I know people are gonna get angry at me in the comments for this one, but Guardy, it's all right. Actually, no, you have like a fun engine. I'll put it in B. I think it's average. There's nothing crazy. There are some really fun aspects, but also the attackers aren't particularly interesting, except for occasionally Cresselia in like Lost Zone or even other matchups. Probably not other matchups, but mostly Lost Zone. Cresselia is a fun attacker, but for the most part, it's a pretty straightforward deck. Um, let's see. Next up. Oh, did I mess it up? Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Next up, we got Charizard. We actually got a bunch of Charizard EX decks. The differences are kind of small. I'd say the regular build is probably the most fun as you have the most options. I'll put it in. I don't think Charizard's that interesting of a deck, though. I'll just put it in B tier. I'm gonna put all of them in B, I think. Yeah, I think all the Charizard decks are kind of whatever. They're nothing too crazy. Charizard Lost Box is probably the most versatile, but also the least consistent at like doing exactly what you want. I personally think it's like the worst as well. Charizard Gallade is just like Charizard Arceus Pidgeot, and like Charizard with Pidgeot. Charizard essentially always plays Pidgeot, whether it's Arceus or Charizard. This like regular Charizard build, but this one they play V's, which I think is a little more interesting. But then you're like less consistent, so yeah, I think Charizard's only okay. I'm tempted to put this Charizard, but I'll put this one in A, because you do get like a few more interesting options, versus the other ones are all pretty linear. Yeah. We got Lost Index, and I'll do those as well. I guess I should have done them before, but we did the regular Lost Zone. I think Giratina Lost Zone's all right. Um, I'll put this one in A. It's close. It's decent. It's pretty fun. You have a lot of the same options. I personally like it more than the basic Lost Zone. But the basic Lost Zone box, you get like your Pokestop, which is kind of funny. It kind of sucks to play sometimes, but it's like this big like roll of the dice, but it's like a funny roll of the dice, so I think it gets by there. Versus Gudra Lost Zone and Guillotine Lost Zone Stone. Gudra Lost Zone, there are times when Gudra just isn't very good. I think Gudra's Lost Zone honestly isn't that fun. I think compared to the other Lost Zone, I feel like Giratina, you get that one shot potential and the big damage. And Gudra Lawson has a worse, I think a not as fun matchup spread. There are a few matchups where you just like roll over your opponent with Gudra, but just rolling over them, well, it is fun to like win. It's not necessarily, I don't know, it's not really um a fair fight a lot of the time. So, and also you do have access to Radiant Greninja easier, but like Sableye you can use, and a lot of lists do now, but they're I don't know, they're in my opinion a little um awkward if you want to get in with like Zamazenta, Radiant Greninja, and Sableye. That's just a bit awkward. Yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of Gudra Lawson. It's all right, as I said, they're all fun. Oh, maybe not. I don't like Miraidon Flaffy's here. I'm gonna put Miraidon Flaffy in D. To me, Miraidon Flaffy is just a really boring deck. The amount of damage you hit is pretty straightforward, and the Pokemon are pretty straightforward. So you do have Raichu to get one shots, but like Flappies are always targeted down. You just get all your basics out. Your engine is like bad. I mean, your energy acceleration engine's fine, but like your draw engine is not existent, which is a bit unfortunate. I feel like the deck's just linear. Oftentimes you just path and the game just bogs down. Because it's not like pathing you hurts you some. I guess you have Raikou, which is kind of cool, but it draws one card. It's not that much. So yeah, I think I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this one, unfortunately, for all you fans. And Miraidon, I know there are a lot of people who like Miraidon as well, but I think it's a bit too straightforward. Except the Lugia decks, Single Strike and Lugia Archeops. Um, these aren't, I don't know, I find them a little inconsistent. When you whiff or you only get one Archeops into play, which you sometimes have to settle for, it just feels bad because you have just such a slow start. You're not doing anything. Also, it doesn't have, I don't know, you have some versatility. Your onboard draw engine is pretty much non-existent again. And then your energy acceleration, you can like always attack, which actually makes it less fun because you don't have to like worry about setting up an attacker. It's more consistent, but I don't think it's as interesting. Lugia Archeops, you have Weirdier, Snorlax, and then you have more options. Well, you have more options in Single Strike, but Lugia Archeops, the options are more equal. I feel like Single Strike Lugia is not fun either. Um, it's like very straightforward, and also it's very like swingy based on the game and how you set up. It's pretty much decided pretty quickly. So I'm gonna put this deck in D. I think it's worse than Miraidon. I think I'll move Miraidon Flaffy up to C tier. I think that's all right. Yeah, that's probably fine. And then Lugia Archeops will be in C tier as well. It's all right. There are some interesting interactions, but like there's some overall interesting strategic options, but when it comes down to like individual plays, a lot of times it's pretty boring, and there are games when you'll brick. There are games where you brick with any deck, but I feel like I noticed some more with this deck. So yeah. Mew VMAX, and then we have Fusion Mew. I think Fusion Mew is fun because you can attack early, but I don't think it's like it's whatever. It's the deck. You draw lots of cards, but it's pretty linear. I'll put in B. Fusion Mew is like Mew VMAX is just such a weird deck. But so it's very format defining as well because you just draw cards, right? So I think it's all right. I'll put in B tier. Drawing through your deck's fun, and it really accentuates that. Versus the Genesect deck, I hate this deck. Like, I'm not gonna lie, just so boring because you just do the same thing over and over. You just draw and then you attack because you don't really have any attack. You have a few attacking options, but not many. Um, you have like not a lot of versatility. And you have lots of consistency, so you'll always set up. The fun part's like drawing through your deck, but the matchup's usually decided before the game starts, which is a bit unfortunate. Or based on what your opponent does. It doesn't really matter what you do throughout the game, as long as you play all right. So I just don't really love that deck. It's certainly a good deck. It's not like a great deck, but it's all right. But not my favorite. Hellion Urshifu is it's probably S tier. Let's be honest. I was like, how high is it? Yeah, it's probably pretty high because you just get to like have so much fun and versatility. The only issue is when you're up against The only issue is when you're up against like big HP Pokemon, but those aren't too common, so hopefully you'll get away with that. Um, but you get to like do some fun shenanigans to the bench and just like ruin your opponent's day. But I think it's more fun. It's kind of like Lost Zone with the aspect of spread, except it's all spread and it's fun because you got these big Pokemon, but your opponent's always in the game because realistically, Urshifu VMAX and Italian VMAX don't hit for very much. So at the end of the day, I mean, Urshifu hits decent amount, but they might have Manaphy. So it's always a close game usually. Even if it doesn't feel like it, at any point it could just get turned around. Other I probably should not have included on this list. So whoops. Arceus. Let's see. Can I remove other now? Yeah, there we go. Did that mess up the tier list? Hopefully it didn't. Charizard Lost Zone. Oh wait, that. Huh? No, this deck is supposed to be here. Did that switch them? What? Oh, that messed something up. That definitely did. What just happened? This deck should be here, and this deck should be here. And why is Palkia here? Okay, I should not have deleted that other. What happened? Are you okay? Okay. Snorlax is supposed to be what? Oh, is this supposed to be Fusion Mew? There we go. I think I fixed it. Oh, wait. Okay. Apparently when I removed the other deck, Zoroark, why is that there? That's not supposed to be. Or not that it doesn't belong there. Give me a second. But what is Trainer Hill doing? Like what was that? Oh, Gudra. There we go. Gudra was here. I think Fusion Mew was like here. It was something like this. This looks all right. Hopefully I didn't mess things up too much. That okay. There we go. I think that's back to what it was. This looks all right. I don't know why Trainer Hill did that. Trainer Hill, please stop doing it. Okay, Limitless. Trainer Hill is like based on Limitless. If you didn't know, it's not the same thing, but it's close. Okay, we're back. Lost Zone Charizard. Oh, I missed that. Was that even on this list? I don't know. Lost Zone Radiant Charizard. I should have talked about earlier, and I think it's not as interesting as the other Lost Zone builds, but. I mean, it's probably no, it's still top of B. I think it's all right. I think you have some interesting options. It's a deck I like, but it's kind of a weird deck. It's a deck I theoretically like, but I don't really play very much. We get to the new decks, so I'll talk about Alakazam and Blastoise. I think Blastoise is pretty boring as well, unfortunately. Blastoise going down in D tier. I think it's just very straightforward and a bit underwhelming. No, honestly, I hate Blastoise. Blastoise isn't good either, so it's like bad and boring. I think Blastoise is probably one of my least favorite decks in the game. Right, come on, get to the bottom. Because you just go ahead and you just you just attack and you don't really have too much versatility. I suppose it depends how you run the deck, but I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. Alakazam, on the other hand, is pretty fun, except when you don't set up, which is too much of the time. So I'm gonna put it in C. It's kind of fun to win with the deck, but the deck itself doesn't have interesting interactions, and it's just kind of boring and straightforward. It's like theoretically fun. Arceus decks. We got Arceus, Arctina, and Arcadura. Arceus, regular Arceus is fun. I'm always going to be someone. I'll put a drop down Chien-Pao. Arceus, just with whatever, is always fun in my opinion, as you get to build your own deck and you get to do some cool things. So put that in S tier. Giratina and Duraludon. I don't like Arceus Duraludon. I think it's Arceus Giratina is super boring. I'm going to put that in the bottom of C. Or top of D. I'll actually move Single Strike Lugia up, and then like Duraludon. What had that even happen? Okay, there we go. Arceus Duraludon is probably in C. Yeah, I'll put it right here. It's not super fun, but it's all right. Palkia Chien-Pao and regular. I don't even know what this regular Palkia deck is. Not gonna lie. So yeah, I'm not gonna. What? Yeah, I don't know what this is. I'll put this in. I feel like it's not interesting. I'm gonna put it in D. And Palkia Chien-Pao also, it's in my opinion, isn't very interesting. I'll put it in C. And then see, Snorlax Salt. Snorlax Salt. You know I love control. Which I'll just say this is like control. I could have picked other as control as well. So I'll put Snorlax Salt in B. I think it's fun. I know a lot of people don't think it's fun, but I think it deserves to be in B. Which B is like not super high up, but it's pretty good. Spidops, which I think is what is this? Is this Spidops Venomoth? Is this just Spidops Leafeon? What is this deck? Someone comment down below. I might look after the video. I'm gonna look now. Let's see. I don't know what this Spidops deck is. Like I don't really know what it's supposed to be. Spidops. Let's look at the newest list. Let's see. So this is Venomoth. Yeah, okay. Spidops, Venomoth. I don't know. Someone actually commented for me to play this. I think I'll play it, but it's not my favorite deck. It's just so swingy based on if you go first or second. So I'm gonna drop it and see. It can be fun. It's fun to item lock, but it's such a slow deck too. No, honestly, I don't like. I'm gonna put this in D. It's not like garbage to play, but it's not a super strong deck, and also it's not super interesting. I now get the Zoroarks. Soon Zoroark, like who plays this? I should probably play it. It's probably like B tier. It's all right, but nothing crazy. And Zoroark box is I should put an S, but it's also I'm gonna put an A because it doesn't set up all the time. But yeah, here's my list. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing. If you didn't, also consider subscribing. Like the video, and comment down below if I did anything wrong or if it's all right. And also, yeah, check out my viewer decks though, and comment down below and like those comments so I can decide what deck I'm going to play. And also you can check out the Discord for stuff, which is linked on my channel page. And I'm excited to see you next time.